Seoul, 2022. A city of towering skyscrapers, illuminated by the glow of neon lights, bustling with perpetual activity. A place where East meets West, where cutting-edge technology intertwines with ancient traditions, creating a peculiar yet captivating tapestry. It was within this vibrant, contrasting environment, full of surprises, that a story unfolded, one that still troubles the minds of many. A story about a mysteriously vanished girl, her last videos filled with riddles, and a mystery that may forever remain unsolved. Let us journey into the world of social media, where the life of every blogger is an open book, accessible to millions of subscribers. The girl's name was Anastasia, but in the virtual world, she was known as NaKorea. A cheerful and vivacious Russian girl, she captivated the hearts of both Koreans and foreigners with her boundless optimism and unwavering love for Korean culture. Her channel was filled with vibrant, captivating videos, reviews of Korean cosmetics, engaging masterclasses on preparing Korean dishes, amusing stories about daily life in Korea, and of course, colorful overviews of Seoul's sights and its surrounding areas. Anastasia exuded positivity, sincerity, and openness, thanks to which her audience grew exponentially with each passing day. She was making long-term plans, dreaming of staying in Korea for a long time, envisioning exciting new projects, and readily sharing her bold ideas with her devoted subscribers. Everything seemed to be falling into place perfectly. But, as often happens behind the glamorous facade, lay a different reality. One only needed to peek behind the scenes to understand that things weren't as simple as they appeared. In early March of 2022, Anastasia suddenly stopped communicating. The last video posted on her channel was dated the 5th of March. In it, as usual, she shared her impressions of visiting a bustling market, smiled radiantly, and talked about her plans for the upcoming weekend. Nothing, it seemed, foreshadowed the approaching trouble. However, the very next day, her friends and loved ones noticed worrying changes. Anastasia didn't respond to messages, stopped posting stories on Instagram, and her phone was out of service. At first, everyone attributed it to ordinary fatigue or temporary difficulties, but as days turned into weeks with no news, the initial worry morphed into genuine panic. Her friends, deeply concerned by her disappearance, contacted the police, initiating a complex, tangled investigation. However, the situation was compounded by the fact that Anastasia was a foreigner, and no one knew where to begin looking for her. The first few days of the search yielded nothing. The police interviewed her friends, colleagues, and other bloggers she'd been in contact with. Surveillance footage from the places she frequented was thoroughly reviewed, but everything was in vain. What was strange was that Anastasia's last video recording didn't hint at any trouble. She appeared completely calm and happy, and this was precisely what fueled the greatest anxiety. Why had she stopped answering calls? What could have happened? The air crackled with tension and uncertainty. Investigators turned their full attention to her social media pages. Analysis of the published content revealed curious details. Anastasia regularly shared photos and videos from various corners of Seoul. She loved strolling through the bustling streets, visiting cozy cafes and elegant restaurants. Her posts contained a wealth of information about her movements, like an open book, for anyone who cared to look. Perhaps it was this openness that played a fatal role. In their search for answers, The police began examining Anastasia's old video recordings. Then, something unsettling came to light. In one of the videos, filmed only a few days before her disappearance, a man could be seen observing her from a distance. His face was hidden in shadow, making it almost impossible to make out his features. Yet his presence evoked an unpleasant feeling, like a premonition of danger. Could someone truly have been stalking her? And if so, for what reason? A strange feeling of unease washed over me as I considered this. Furthermore, in one of her final videos, where Anastasia was sharing her impressions of the local market, she mentioned that she felt as though someone was following her. At the time, she dismissed it as a fleeting sensation, a trick of the imagination, but now her words sounded like a prediction, bitter and ominous. Rumors of Anastasia's disappearance spread rapidly across all social media platforms, like a wildfire. Subscribers, worried and agitated, began actively discussing what had happened, putting forth all sorts of theories. Some thought she had simply gone on vacation, forgetting to give notice. Others believed she was the victim of a terrible crime. The most daring and frightening assumptions spoke of kidnapping or even murder. Her last videos, uploaded over the past 2 weeks, made a particularly strong impression on the public. They were full of riddles, hidden meanings, and subtle hints that now, in light of her disappearance, seemed like ominous messages. In one of her video clips, Anastasia told of a strange phone call she received the day before. An unfamiliar voice, husky and frightening, threatened her, demanding that she immediately cease her blogging activities. In another video, filled with anxiety and barely concealed panic, she admitted that she felt mortal danger, but could not tell her many subscribers. The police, holding their breath, began a detailed study of all these materials. Investigators realized that every word, every gesture, every look captured on video could hold the key to solving this disturbing case. They meticulously analyzed the recordings, trying to glean even the slightest clue that could lead to the truth. Everyone who had any connection to Anastasia's life was questioned. Loyal friends, frivolous acquaintances, and colleagues with whom she shared projects. But the case seemed to stall, sinking into the darkness of an unsolved mystery. Soon, sinister rumors began to spread throughout Seoul, whispering that a powerful person with immense connections and limitless possibilities might be behind Anastasia's mysterious disappearance. It was said that this individual was her secret admirer, obsessed with her and relentlessly pursuing her, knowing no boundaries in achieving their goal. This version seemed unbelievable, but the police were obligated to consider every possibility. A large-scale campaign to find Anastasia unfolded on social media. Followers created numerous groups, sharing information and distributing photos of the missing girl. Thousands of people offered their assistance in the investigation, ready to do anything they could. They yearned to know the truth and believed that through combined efforts, they could help find the missing blogger. The search for Anastasia continued for several long weeks. The police meticulously scoured all areas of Seoul, reviewing hundreds of surveillance cameras and interviewing thousands of witnesses. But all their efforts proved fruitless. The case had reached a complete dead end. Soon after Anastasia's disappearance, her phone was found on one of Seoul's streets. It was the only piece of physical evidence related to the case. The phone was silent, holding no new data. However, investigators discovered several deleted video files, which they immediately began to restore. When the viewing commenced, one of the most shocking was a file where Anastasia, in tears, spoke of blackmail. An unknown person was extorting money from her, threatening to reveal certain secrets. She didn't utter the blackmailer's name, but despair shone through every word. In another video, Anastasia pleaded for help, fearing for her life. These recordings became a true revelation for the investigators, confirming the theory that Anastasia had become a victim of a crime. But who was this blackmailer? And what did he want from her? Soon, the police found another lead, leading to the solution. During the investigation, it turned out that Anastasia had received a large sum of money shortly before her disappearance. Rumors circulated that it was a ransom. But who paid this money, and for whom was it intended? The investigators began to meticulously check all possible versions. They meticulously examined Anastasia's bank accounts, analyzing her correspondence on social media and messaging apps, hoping to find even a single key to the mystery. They discovered she frequently communicated with various people, including foreigners, maintaining contact with dozens, but they failed to find any information about her mysterious blackmailer. The search for Anastasia continued, but hope dwindled with each passing day. The police worked tirelessly, trying to find her alive, or at least uncover the truth of what happened. However, time passed, and the chances of success rapidly diminished. After several months of intense searches and numerous investigations, the police, unfortunately, were forced to make the difficult decision to close the case. Neither a body nor the slightest evidence that could shed light on Anastasia's fate was discovered. Her disappearance was shrouded in a thick veil of secrecy. The case of Anastasia went down in history as one of the most high-profile and tragic stories in Korea. It caused a wide public outcry, making people consider the safety of bloggers and foreign citizens living in that country. And now, after many years, this story still troubles my soul. Just imagine, a young, beautiful girl, full of life and dreaming of living in another country, vanished without a trace. What could have really happened? Why did the truth remain hidden from public view? After the official investigation was stopped, Anastasia's family and friends, of course, weren't going to give up. They continued their own searches, clinging to a ghostly hope of finding any answers. They frequented private detective agencies, carefully studied all available case materials, trying to find even the smallest clue that could lead to a solution. But alas, all their efforts proved fruitless. Anastasia's story became a bitter warning for everyone who cherished dreams of a new life in a foreign land. She reminded everyone that even in the safest of situations, danger could lurk. She made many people consider the high price paid for fleeting social media fame, for thousands of likes and enthusiastic comments. Anastasia's life ended tragically and suddenly, taking with it all hopes and dreams, leaving behind only pain and an unresolvable mystery. She left behind only a few mysterious videos, which raised many questions, the answers to which might never be found. Her story became a bitter reminder that even in the most modern and seemingly safe place, mortal danger could be hidden. Despite all the efforts of the police, who faithfully investigated the case, and the desperate attempts of Anastasia's loved ones, her fate remained shrouded in darkness and obscurity. It remains only to guess what really happened to the young, full-of-life blogger. Was she the victim of a tragic accident, or was someone behind her disappearance, carefully planning everything down to the smallest detail? What is hidden behind these mysterious videos? capturing only fleeting moments of her life, and behind the mysterious circumstances that led to her disappearance. In conclusion, this story is a cruel example of how quickly and unexpectedly a person's life can be cut short. She reminds us that we must be cautious and vigilant, especially when in unfamiliar surroundings, surrounded by new faces. And in this vast world, brimming with possibilities and temptations, danger and tragedy always find a place. We can only speculate about what happened to Anastasia, losing ourselves in conjecture and searching for even the smallest clues to unravel this chilling mystery. We can only hold her radiant smile and cherished dreams in our memory. We can only hope that one day the veil of secrecy will be lifted and we will learn the complete truth of her tragic fate. For now, this story remains one of the most mysterious and sorrowful pages in the history of modern Korea, reminding us that even in the brightest and safest of places, a shadow of the unknown and profound sadness may lurk. It serves as a reminder that truth is sometimes hidden behind numerous layers of secrets, and perhaps some will remain unsolved, buried under the weight of time and concealed from human eyes.